All right, one more time. Today is October 18th, 2016. This is a team training only. My name is Jeffrey Jansen. I am a Legal Shield associate. This is not anything that has been approved by or ran in front of corporate. However, for the sake of my own personal teams, this is a class I'm giving to you, so I just want everybody to know that none of this goes, out to the general public. The reason why I do these classes is because I have a lot of truck drivers, and you'll hear me say this about each one before each video, just so that everybody understands that these are for my team and my team only. And if other people wish to watch or get included in this, they are more than welcome to. But I am Jeffrey Jansen. I am a independent Legal Shield associate and identity theft independent associate. Today what we're going to do, this is class part 1. I do some classes while I am on the road traveling because I use it as a classroom. I do not like not having time. I don't like time going to waste, okay? I'm going to speak a little loud so that all my audio and everything picks up. The sheet I'm going off of today, you can actually get this in your downloads, in your quick downloads, which is in the back office. Express download is what it's called. And what this is the basic commercial driver plan. What I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go over what's on the sheet. After I do that, I am going to then give my introduction on how I present the basic legal driving plan. Now, what I have done is you need to keep it short. There's a couple key things I want to talk to you first before I go over this about truck drivers, okay? First off, when you go into truck drivers, and this is for anything in Legal Shield, always be honest. If you go in there and you're stuttering and you don't know what you're talking about, or you tell them stuff that's way out there, they're not going to believe you, okay? And in Legal Shield, you're not allowed to do that anyway, and I do not approve or condone you going out and saying anything that's not true, because these are truck drivers, are skeptical the way it is. And in the CDL field, let's face it, number one, high turnover in the CDL field. Okay? So there is a very high turnover rate. Okay? Now, two, there are over 5 million truck drivers on the road today. Everywhere from your smaller size to your 2 axles, all the way up to big rigs, to your semis, to your sleepers. I mean, look at what the big coal trucks and all the dump trucks and the cement trucks. And we get into that more when we get into the sit-down classes. This will not take the place, nor can it ever take the place of the sit-down CDL training brought to you by the professionals in the CDL field in Legal Shield that will go over everything with you, including the basics, that are true experts in the field on CDL. I am not an expert. I am just going over this because I do a lot of CDL, and I want my team to know and everybody to be on the same sheet of music. Now, that being said, let's get back to it. So, there are over 5 million CDL drivers on the road today. Out of those 5 million, there's probably only between 13 and 15,000 drivers, which is not very many at all, that have some kind of CDLP protection, which means all the other drivers out there are driving without any kind of legal protection whatsoever. Now, when people come into Legal Shield and they get their CDL class, the first thing they think of is, oh, I'm going to go sell to every single truck driver in the world, blah, 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 blah. I've heard it a million times, and let's face it, that's not the case, folks. And the reason why it's not the case is because everybody thinks that CDL truck drivers are just everyday people like you and I. No, they're not. They're great American human beings that are carrying America's goods across service. They're carrying loved ones. They're carrying everywhere from EMT, emergency medical transport vehicles. They're carrying goods and services for Christmas. They're carrying oils. They're carrying our everyday life. So when you go in there, you need to respect the profession that they are in. Okay? The reason why you need to respect the profession they are in, you don't worry about their attitudes. They're just truck drivers, but you must respect the profession they are in. They are tired, they're hungry, they're away from their families. They're never paid enough. Nobody's ever paid enough, okay? If they were paid enough, there wouldn't be a high turnover rate. So what you got to do is you don't go in there thinking about, oh, this is going to be my next sale. This is going to be my next sale. Bullcrap. Get that out of your head right away because you will not get the sale. I'm going to flat out tell you, if you're going in there and your first thing on your mind was, I'm going to get the sale, I'm going to get the sale, you're not. The reason why is because they can smell you coming a mile away. You're just going to be a salesperson then. However, in Legal Shield, we are not salespeople. We must give them and help them come to an educated decision on a choice that can affect their everyday life. We must give them an educated decision, and we're going to help them come to that educated decision and a choice they're going to make in everyday life. So, when you get in there, you're going to have truck drivers in all these different companies, or you're going to see them all over the United States. First off, wherever you sell a CDL plan, it's about the area, the space, the land that you're standing on is where you write the plan and what you put the plan down on the paper. So, in other words, it doesn't matter where they're from. It's where you are standing at. It's how you can write a CDLP plan, okay? Now, if you get it, when we go into the second part of it, how we protect them on the other side, there's two sides of this coin. The first side, we're going to protect their CDL. The second side, we're going to protect their livelihoods. All right? So remember, the area you're standing on, that plot of ground that you're standing on is where you sign up the CDL truck driver. Okay? Second, when you go into these truck drivers, first off, their hands are going to be crossed. Some of them are going to be happy, some of them are grouchy. It's okay to be real with them. These are going to be the most real people you talk to. The reason why is they will tell you stories. If you listen just long enough, they will tell you exactly what they need. They're going to tell you about being from Wyoming, getting a ticket in Montana. They're going to tell you about having a farm and 88 head of cattle need to be fed. They're going to tell you about their kids going to college and how Legal Shield ended up helping them and they kept them on the road and how they got speeding tickets and you got the on-ramps and the off-ramps. They will tell you what you need to relay back to them. And that is how you actually go about the CDL. Okay? But always, always understand that when you go in, you must make eye contact. You must be physical, which means you must shake their hand, whether you think they want to or not. Okay? My suggestion that my instructors instructed me, my mentors told me, bring some candy and some Hershey Kisses, some Tootsie Rolls, you know, around Halloween time, which it is right now. Get them some candy bars. Bring something in to break the ice, okay? Don't just go in there, I got this, blah, 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 dum, 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 see you, bye-bye. Don't do that. I am a fast talker the way it is, but when I go in front of these truck drivers, these guys are real. I'm not saying that nobody else is. The other businesses, there's certain shirts and ties. They're a little young. Truck drivers, this is their livelihood, and you're protecting it. So, the first thing we go on is this page right here. It is called Basic Commercial Driver Legal Plan, okay? Now, it is in your express downloads. It is in the back office. I'm going to go verbatim what the sheet says so you understand this. When you call your provided law firm, they will locate an attorney to act on your behalf. Your provided law firm has the support of qualified attorneys across the country who will help you protect your rights anywhere in the United States. Basic Commercial Driver Legal Plan benefits. Tragic accident representation. If you or your spouse is charged with a criminal act because of a serious traffic accident, a commercial driver legal plan attorney will defend you in the court of original jurisdiction for the following charges: manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, vehicular homicide, negligent homicide. We do license reinstatements. You and your spouse have 2.5 hours of legal help from a commercial driver's legal plan attorney in each of the following situations. You are denied a driver's license. Your driver's license is canceled, suspended, or revoked by the Department of Public Safety or Department of Motor Vehicles, where a right to appeal is provided to you by the statute. Assistance is needed to reinstate or maintain a driver's license because of job-related or medical reasons. Moving violations. Defense of a non-criminal moving violation in the court of original jurisdiction. Defense by an attorney located through your commercial driver's legal plan, provider law firm. The attorney appointed for you is usually located in the area where you receive the ticket. DOT, Department of Transportation, and non-moving violations. You and your spouse are entitled to defense of non-criminal citations issued in your motor vehicle, including logbook violations, over height, hazardous material, equipment violations, over length, over width, over height, load spillage, no place card, permit violations, no medical card, no insurance, no motor carrier authority. Property damage collection. A commercial driver's legal plan attorney will help you or your spouse collect property damage claims of $2,000 or less for damage as a result of driving, riding in, or being struck by any motor vehicle or boat. Covers minor damage to your car or truck. You may receive up to 2.5 hours of attorney time per incident. Personal injury collections. A commercial driver's legal attorney will help you or your spouse collect personal injury claims of $2,000 or less for injuries resulting from driving, riding in, or being struck by a motor vehicle or boat. You may receive up to 2.5 hours of attorney time per claim. All other transportation-related legal work. You and your spouse can receive this and any other transportation-related legal work not specifically covered by this plan at a 25% discount from the provided law firm's standard hourly rate. Members are responsible for paying court costs, fines, and related fees. All right. Basically, that is the basic commercial driver legal plan. We have two others that we will go over later on. However, this is the main one. You match this one with our family legal protection, and they will have between 90 and 95% of all of their issues will be covered for no extra cost. Now remember this. Pre-existing situations fall underneath the 25% preferred member discount. Also remember, anything criminal, drugs, alcohol, scanners, okay? Anything that's criminal will fall underneath a 25% preferred member discount. Now, when you go in front of these drivers, when you get in front of them, you're going to tell them the basics that they need. It is better to undersell the plan than to oversell. And the first thing I was taught, when you go in there, you give them two, not one, two business cards with your phone number and the phone number of Riggs Abney. Riggs Abney is our main CDL provided law firm, and they do a phenomenal job. And they will even let you stay on the call if you call in with them majority of the time so that you can help your drivers through whatever situation they're going through. If not, they will politely tell you to get off so that they can talk with the client individually. However, remember this. With truck drivers, they want you to help them call them. Almost 90% of every situation I personally have ever got in, I have made the initial phone call and a three-way call to Riggs Abney with the driver, and Riggs Abney then introduces themselves, and they tell the driver what they have, what they're able to do, and they then go to work. The job is done. Now the person can trust the law firm because they physically met you, and now you can go about teaching them how to use the law firm and then all the other benefits that they get. When they use the law firm one time, they will be hooked because they're getting a provided service that they're paying for, knowing that if they went outside of our service, it would be costing a fortune. And then you actually have to find a lawyer and a law firm that specializes in CDLP. And that is very, very expensive. Now, whenever I go into a meeting, I make it a simple situation. Okay? I go in, first thing I do is I hand them the paperwork of everything they're going to get. I always give them a folder. I put the basic legal in. I put the family legal in. I put a stop in there. Do not get this if your intention is to break the law thinking you have immunity from the law, because you do not have immunity from the law. It's something that I put in there. I put a CSA paperwork in there so that they can see the CSA scores. All right. I put a double-sided application, one that says family, one that says CDLP. And then I also put in there Riggs Abney's number along with how to put it on your phone. Okay? Now, when I go in, we'll just say a mock version. First thing I do is I go in. I was like, hey, everybody, my name is Jeff. I am here today because I was informed that you guys are new employees of this company. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you guys being truck drivers. However, I'd like to know where all the states you guys are from. Okay, so they'll tell me their states. Good. And you'll get used to what states and what the law firms are in each state. Now I'm going to ask you, how many of y'all are married or have a domestic partner? A few will raise their hand. What I then say is, look, I want you to understand this. Everything I'm about to tell you, your domestic partner or your wife, whoever is in the truck with you, is also covered underneath this plan. They too fall underneath this plan. Their kids do not, so I never tell them they're kids. I then go about and I tell them, my job is to protect your points, your CSA scores, your PCP points, all the points that can go onto your record. Now, what does that mean? That means I'm going to protect you when you're in the cab of that truck. And then I'm also going to protect you if you're in a boat, RV, SUV, ATV, motorcycle. Okay? Anything that'll affect their points, we can help them with. I will then go along and I'll say, however, gentlemen or ladies, I will then say, however, I cannot, for 99 cents a day, cover everything. Meaning, I can only cover the stuff when you're in your truck or what's on your record. So they're like, okay, they understand that, because I cannot cover criminal offenses, guys. I cannot cover drugs, alcohol, I cannot cover things that are criminal offense. I also do not cover, in this basic plan here, if you're parking on or off an on or off ramp and you're parking there and going to sleep. It's illegal for you to do that. You're going to get a ticket. So make sure not to do it. Now, if you have questions, you can always call our provided law firm. But, however, for everything I'm about ready to tell you, everything is covered. There is no extra fee. There is no fees on top. You're not going to get a surprise bill in the mail. There is no fine print. There is no contracts. There's no termination fees. We believe in our product because we know you need to be out there on the road every day working. We know you're tired. We know you're hungry. We know your kids are at home. We know you guys are out there every day working your butts off. So I'm here to take away a little of that stress. Have any of you guys ever had a bill collector while you're behind the wheel? Have any of you guys ever had a telemarketer call you while you're behind the wheel? Did you know that is illegal? 40% of all accidents in the United States for truck drivers happen because of distracted driving. We will get a hold of the law firm. The law firm will then draft up and they will send out a cease and desist letter right away. Have any of you ever come from a company that owes you money? We will then send collection letters and we will go after them that owe you money to try to get your money back. All right? Do any of you guys have your wills or your powers of attorneys done? We will do you and your wife's will. Now, remember this. This is going back to be an associate. I do not go too much into detail about the will. I go into detail on the next part about the will. The reason why is because I believe the will is a very important feature and these gentlemen need to know about it. And if there's one thing they need to get done in their life is a will. So, gentlemen, ladies, what we're going to protect is I'm going to help you with oversized, overweight, overwidth, overlength, hazmat, logbook violations. Okay, we're going to help you if your license is suspended for some reason. We're going to go do our best to try to get it unsuspended, revoked. We're going to try to help you out with that, okay? The details are on the paperwork. All right? We're going to offer you so much more. But I would like to say, call me and I'll tell you if it's one of the things we offer, or call up the provided law firm. All right? It's right there on the sheet, though, if you really want to ask. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to go over is I want you guys to understand while you're in the truck, if you get outside that cab and take, for instance, you slip on an oil slick and there's a big sign that says, not responsible for any accidents. Well, technically that sign's not supposed to be there because actually they are responsible if they know what's happening. I was like, however, our basic commercial driver will not protect you when you're outside the vehicle for something that is a non-traffic or non-semi-related incident. They look at me like, okay, what do you mean? Now, gentlemen, I'd like you to go into our basic legal plan. All right? That plan right there is going to run you around 99 cents a day, about $6.91 a week. Okay? Now, I want you to know that the next thing I'm going to offer you is going to seal that. So, in other words, right now, I'm covering you about 90% of the stuff. Now, I'm going to go with the rest of the 5. Now, what I want you to go into is now you go into the basic plan. You're going to say you and your domestic partner are both covered. Children up to the age of 26 living at home, in college, or the military are covered. Dependent children up to the age of 18 are covered. All children that are handicapped or mentally disabled are covered. So in other words, you and your family are covered. You and your domestic partner are covered. If she's got kids, he's got kids, you guys are covered. So now you can call up your provided law firm from the state that you're from, and you can ask them any kind of legal question you want. Unlimited calls, unlimited questions, including pre-existing. Then what we're going to do is we're going to send out 15 letters of contracts. We're going to review 15 letters of contracts for you. Guess what? You guys all have these smartphones, right? Did you know there's contracts on there? I had a guy for one of my companies. He had Verizon. However, the little guy that says, "Can you hear me now?" cannot hear him now. He's got 4 daughters, a wife, and himself. Okay? 7 phones. 6 phones. 6 phones. When he called Verizon to get out of the contract, because he just got in that contract, they refused to let him out of his contract. Guess what? He said, look, if you can help me out, because they're wanting $387 per phone to let me out of this contract. Do the math on your own. $387? Yeah. Per phone? It's expensive. He basically was keeping it in there. Plus having 4 daughters over the age of 16 and a wife, plus yourself, and they can't use their phone. It's not going to happen, people. So anyway, 3 days later, we were able, after he signed up for the plan, he was so content. He called me up and said, yeah, Legal Shield sent out a couple of letters and they made a couple of phone calls for me. He goes, and basically I got a letter and I got a phone call telling me that I'm out of my contract just to mail the phones back, and they gave me a credit. He goes, I'm out of the contract, no questions asked. That's an over-the-road truck driver that's putting food on the family, or getting money to put food on the family for his family. Okay? You can't argue with that. I had another driver driving through Oklahoma in his personal vehicle. He gets pulled over. His wife's hitting him in the arm saying, hey, honey, you got to slow down. You got to slow down. He has a state trooper from Oklahoma pulling up behind him. The state trooper goes to the passenger side of the vehicle, sees the Legal Shield sticker, and says, y'all members of Legal Shield? They say, yes, we are. He goes, look, you all need to slow down. I don't want to do paperwork. Slow down. Have a nice day. And he walks on. Now, why do I say this? Because letters and phone calls and just the presence of Legal Shield can deter tickets or can help solve the problems. All right? Now, reviewing 15 contracts or documents. Plumbers have contracts. Electricians. Everybody has contracts but you. Why? Because lawyers are too expensive. That's why we don't use them. We've changed that. Now, the next thing I want to show you guys is the app on the phone. See this little app right here on the phone? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for all emergency assistance. Any emergency you need, but it has to be an emergency. You push that button. Your kids are getting taken away. Your neighbors are causing problems. You got police showing up at the door. You're getting pulled over at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're getting ready to go to jail, and you don't know why, and you have nobody to help you out. Your kids are, something goes in school where they get accused of doing something that you don't know if they did or did not. But now all of a sudden the school board wants to blame your kid. Or all of a sudden the kid on the playground gets his teeth knocked out, but the school board says you have to pay for it because you're the parent, and even though it's on school property. Why do I say these things? These things have all happened. People use them for these different things. So now all of a sudden you have an emergency button right there. You call them up. Hello, this is such and such at 3 o'clock in the morning. 2 lawyers out of every one of our law firms have to take a cell phone home with them every night of the week in every state. So what does that mean to you? That means you're covered. That means you have somebody physical to help you out for an emergency situation. Now, you see this little button on here called Snap? Take, for instance, you're on the road and your wife goes down the road and gets a ticket. Well, she can take a picture of that ticket right there, put the date of the ticket in there, and push the send button, and it is back in the lawyer's office before the officer is even back in his vehicle. Always remember to be respectful to the officers. Always be respectful to the people that are pulling you over, always be respectful, okay? Because I can't prevent, if you're being mean to them, they do not have any reason not to write you a ticket. Just because you got a lawyer doesn't mean you're going to get out of a ticket. But if you're polite to them and our lawyer can actually find out what's going on, they know you have a lawyer, it'll deter the ticket. Now, if you've been with us for longer than 90 days, okay, we do uncontested name change, uncontested adoption, uncontested divorce, uncontested foster care, uncontested separation. It has to be uncontested. Guys, I cannot do a divorce for 67 cents a day. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. However, if you guys both agree and everybody's happy and everything else, get it done. It's not going to cost you any more than what you're paying for your price. But if it is, I'll at least give you a 25% preferred member discount to help you out with that off your provided law firm. Now, the next thing, and anybody, do I have any owner-operators in here? Okay, you guys pay attention to this. However, all of you guys that are driving for this company or driving for yourself, remember, your name's on the side. For some reason, people like to go after people with big names on the side of their truck. Why? Because they think you got the most money. So we're going to give you 60 hours of civil trial defense time, trial and pre-trial time, okay, and then it rolls over every year, so you're going to get another 60 hours. Look at this. Lawyers on average are $250 an hour. A trial lawyer is $300 an hour. We'll just say that. After 5 years, you got $90,000 worth of trial time built up. Now, this is the most important one, guys. You notice that I told you about the will before? We do your will, healthcare power of attorney, minor trust for children, and your living will. How many of y'all got smartphones? Look, you keep telling me you don't have nothing. I don't want to hear that no more. I'm not even going to answer those questions. You do. You have yourself. You're important. You're important to somebody else. You're out there on the road every day. You guys have seen accidents. You've seen cars and trucks twisted and turned. You've seen bodies get pulled out. You hear it on the CBs and the scanners every day about truck drivers and families getting accidents. The longer you're on the highway, the more likely you get an accident. And if you do get an accident and you're in a coma or something happens to you, what are you going to do? Well, guess what? You got your will done because I'm giving you the will right here. It's on paperwork. However, you know, we'll go back to that phone app. The will's on that phone app. I'm going to send you an email. It's going to have your will in there too. That's the point of this. Do your will. Sign it. Doesn't matter if you don't have anything. Those smartphones, take a video of yourself, take an audio of yourself, write a letter. Tell the loved ones that you love them. The reason why is the worst thing you can do is say you have nothing and then give no closure to those family members that love you and care about you. It is their right to be able to know that you loved them and cared about them, and all you're doing is leaving them hanging. Right now, you might be mad at them or something might be going on, but later on down the road, things might be better, and all of a sudden they die, and they never got that closure that they needed. At least do the will, get the closure. The will is good for life, whether you stay with us or not, or whether you stay with this company or not. The company was good enough to let you keep that for life. Okay? However, every year you're part of this, since we have no contracts or termination fees, we are going to upgrade that will, or update that will, not upgrade, but update that will every year. If you got kids, get the minor trust done. If you got the living will, there's the Sherry Shiverling that happened down in Florida. You know, we don't want to hear about that because she had those feeding tubes and her mom and dad wanted to pull her husband wanted to keep her on it. Look, the state I live in, Illinois, it's a probate state, which means if you don't have a will, the judge is in charge of it. Guys, this is your final testament of you being in charge. Make sure you keep it that way. Do your will. It's important. I can't tell you how many people have called me up and they were glad they got their will done with me. Guess what? That will right there is 67 cents a week, okay? When everybody else will charge you an arm and a leg just to get the will done. They won't even give you everything else we're giving you. This is actually included, free to you, so that you can get it taken care of so you're safe. Every single military person has to take and do a will. Why? Because every single day their life could be in danger. You're on the road every day. Your life can be in danger. Get the will done. Okay, sorry, I digressed a little bit on that one, gentlemen and ladies. Let me go on to the next one. Residential home loans. We will do it in its entirety once a year. Now, have any of you guys ever, this one goes back to the basic, but this one here, have you guys ever rented a place and never got your safety deposit back? Or your security deposit? Did you know some states, if they don't give you X amount of time to get it back, you're owed double the amount of the security deposit back? And it goes up after that if they don't give it back to you and they do not give you a reason. It's a good reason to call those lawyers and say, hey, I never got my security deposit back. Now, the next thing I'm going to go over, this is for all you that got kids and teenagers and wives that drive crazy and husbands that drive crazy. Look, 15 days after this goes into effect, we are going to handle all regular traffic-related situations. You know, parking tickets, speeding tickets, traffic tickets. Okay, we'll even cover homicide and manslaughter in some cases. What we will not cover for 100% is drugs, alcohol, drag racing, okay? And let's face it, I'm going to be honest and upfront with you. You guys are all adults here. You have to be adult to drive a truck. If you are driving a truck and you are drinking, I've got a 9-year-old daughter. I do not want to hear from you. Do not call me because I do not want to represent you. It's as simple as that. If you are man enough to drive one of these vehicles out on the road that can basically take lives, they can also save lives. And if you're out there drinking and driving, do not call me and ask for my help, because I do not want to help you. I will not help you. You can call my company and ask them. But we all know, we're all smart enough to know not to do drugs or alcohol behind a wheel. I'm going to let you guys be smart enough for that. But I want you guys to remember what I said. If you're drinking and driving, do not call me. I think you're worthless. If you're not drinking and driving, I think you're awesome, and I'm going to protect you. But I got a 9-year-old daughter, and I can guarantee you, if a big truck hit her, she would not make it. And that's how I look at these things, gentlemen, ladies. Now, as far as all other traffic-related situations, we'll take care of it as long as it's not criminal, okay? Now, one of the last things I'm going to go over really quick. Have you ever got a pink slip in the mail from the IRS? We're going to give you 50 hours of IRS audit services for all of you that have ever been audited. If you haven't been, at least you'll have the hours. Now, for anything else, you can go back up and call your provided law firm and ask them. I'm sorry, but the book's so big on how many different laws. We handle everything from the trivial to the traumatic, okay? And that's what we cover. So if we do not cover it, we're at least going to give you a 25% preferred member discount from your local law firm, from your providing law firm, okay? Which, guess what? If you have to put a retainer down for $3,000, 25% is actually pretty good if you think about it, taking that off the bill. And I promise you, these lawyers have been with us for over 20 years. I promise you, we are the only closed panel forum of lawyers in the United States. We are located in 49 states, 4 provinces of Canada. And if you need to talk with me, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go and fill out everything on that application for me right now. I'm not going to submit it till next month. The reason why is because I want to make sure you guys got some pay period underneath you. But here's why I have you give you 2 business cards. Call me, talk to me. If you're tied behind the road, call me, talk to me. If you have a problem, call me, talk to me. I'm here. I'm physical. I will answer my phone. You want references that I answer my phone? Call me. Watch. I will call. If I'm in a meeting like this, which my phone is ringing right now because I got 3 truck drivers trying to call me, I'm going to call them when I get out of here. And I will call them back and I'll talk to them. Some of you guys are funny. Some of you just want to call and talk. That's fine. I got a lot of truck driver friends on the road. But for the most part, guys, fill these paperwork out. I think the world of you guys, but I'm not going to see you again because you're going to be out there making money. I just want you to know you need to be safe out there on the road. I care about you. This company cares about you, or they would not be having me here. And right now, this price you're getting is the best price because you're grandfathered in with this price from this company, and you can take it with you. If for some reason you retire from this company, something happens, you can't drive for some reason, you can actually take this with you. You'll just have to put it on a bank draft, Visa, MasterCard, debit card, whatever you got. Guys, get those filled out. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask while I'm going around. I'm going to give you an envelope with a CD in it and some things so you actually know the rules of the road, and we can actually make sure that you can listen to what you get along with read what you get and see what you get. And there's some stickers in there you guys can have. Look, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. I hope everybody had a great day. Thanks. End. All right. So usually I go through that a little bit faster. I kind of drug it out a little bit for you guys so you guys could actually pick up some different things and use what is going to suit you. The fact is, look, these guys are on the road. You need to understand that they're tired, they're hungry, they miss their families. They have to have certain downtime. Some of them have automatic logbook, or some have electronic logbooks. Some of them still have written logbooks. You know, I mean, these guys, there's all kinds of rules and laws. A simple seatbelt violation, okay, it's 7 points. If you're going 15 over in a big rig, that's 10 points on your license. As of August of 2014, we can actually help data queue and get points taken off of their license that got put on there. There's a couple other situations where I'll go more into detail about how if they get a warning ticket, you need to tell them that they're getting a warning ticket. They actually need to get a regular ticket so we can fight it in court. If they get a warning, it'll go on their CSA. Get the ticket so we can go in court and fight it. It's not going to cost them anymore, but tell them to get the ticket instead of the warning. Because if they get a warning, there's no criminal. I cannot put the lawyers there, okay? So make sure to tell them that. Make sure you're in good with the human resources, the safety people. Make sure you're in good with the owners. Make sure that they understand you're there to help their drivers. That's what we're there for. We're not there to go there and party with them or anything else. We're there to let them know we care about them. That's why I tell them to call me, because if they're tired behind the wheel, they may not have anybody else to call. Some of these guys, they're single, they're alone out there. Okay, learn terminology like lot lizard. Learn what DOT stands for, you know. Learn some of the laws, the rules. And as you get into this, keep using the stories from those other truck drivers that use you and tell them to call you and tell them those stories. You need to be on a person-to-person basis with these lawyers, okay, or with these truck drivers, okay? And like I said, I was kind of going with a group setting But I have several companies out there, or several individual truck drivers and farmers that get our CDL all the time. Uber drivers need CDL also. All right? And let me say, I truly care about everybody in my companies. I really do like the people, okay? I don't care about the small stuff. Truckers, do not get pulled into that, okay? The reason why, that's their lives, not yours. Do not get pulled into their life where it's hard to get out sometimes. Everything I'm telling you is from people that have gone before me and for things that I have witnessed. Make sure you take care of these guys, all right? They are the lifeblood of America. They're what are making America great. So, anyway, next training video, we'll go over a little bit more in basic with the basic driving plan. Thanks, guys. Stop. Stop. Oops, I don't think I started that one. Oh well. Alrighty.